Thank you so much, sir. And for our next session, sharing of entrepreneurial experience, uh, I'd like to not actually give you the introduction of our speaker, but let an AV play for you. Can we please have the AV?
मैं चाहता हूं कि आप लोग सब अगले 2-3 मिनट इस वीडियो को जरूर देखें क्योंकि उसके बाद हम सब मिलेंगे और कुछ बातें करेंगे.
I think the captain is the most important. I think Dr. Amidst,
Maybe the judge.
he stays at the border all the time so that we can spend time with our family. He makes sure our safety is his first priority.
She's upholding the Constitution of India. It's a very, very big thing. Big crimes हो रहे हैं. Such a difficult job. Justice being.
This is a COVID situation where someone delivered this. Everyone was locked up in the house. But doctors and the entire medical fraternity was right there. They were trying to save us. I think Smitaji,
Maybe her.
she's the one.
बाकी सबका तो मतलब मुझे पता ना कि एक डॉक्टर है, जज है, but ये मैम क्या करते हैं वो?
क्योंकि उनके नाम के आगे कोई टाइटल नहीं है. Honestly, I don't really know who she is and what she does.
मेरा नाम स्मिता पटेल है. मैं एक स्कूल टीचर हूँ और ये तीनों मेरे स्टूडेंट्स हैं.
नहीं यार, मुझे लगता है कि ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है एक्चुअली.
टीचर नहीं होंगी तो फिर कोई कुछ बन ही नहीं सकता. It is a very selfless job.
It's a noble profession or they're creating geniuses. So she's kind of shaping the future of the country.
थोड़ा जोर से ताली बजाएंगे टीआर फॉर टीचर्स के लिए. आई थिंक वी ऑल thank you very much. I think we've all grown up looking at captain, judge, doctor. I've even seen these cars with advocate का भी एक छोटा सा लोगो होता है, but TR for teachers हमने शायद कभी देखा ही नहीं है. When I saw this video the first time and you know Maulik and I were speaking about it, we thought that let's invite the person who's behind TR for teachers, the idea, the concept and how it's actually happening out there in the world in which we live today. My name is Vijay Chand, but ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege today to host Mr. Gnanesh Gala, Managing Director of Naveet Education. We also know him as Sunil Gala. Sunil bhai, with your permission, probably I'll just call you Sunil bhai. Sir, please. पिछले साल Almus की जो 8th conference थी, उस पे we started this little session called Entrepreneur Speaks. आप लोग इस पूरे दिन में बहुत ज़्यादा इकोनॉमी, फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिस्क और पता नहीं बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड बातें करते हैं. एंड देन यू नो वी थॉट वी शुड काइंड ऑफ इंक्लूड समथिंग that also talks about people who are making some very interesting concepts, some real businesses. And last year, if many of you remember, I had the opportunity to host the chairman and managing director of Lakshmi Organic, Mr. Ravi Goenka. This year, I have Sunil Bhai with me. Sunil Bhai, thank you for joining us. My first question really is TR for teachers. Sir, इसके पीछे का thought, idea, आप थोड़ा बताएंगे हमें?
So my question to the audience could be, how many of us really remember our teachers, care for them, or once we are out from the school or college? So what we realized in last 60 years or 65 years in the business, we are very, very close to lakhs and lakhs of teachers. We realized that while in the school or college, they have limited resources. Post-retirement, they have almost no resources to really take their livelihood on. There are hundreds and lakhs of teachers like them. So we thought, if we can give them some credit by way of prefix, and if we can give them some status, I'm sure all of us will start recognizing that status, and in turn, indirectly, directly, they will be benefited while in the profession or post their profession. So that was the whole logic.
No, thanks a lot. I think for all of you who've seen it on LinkedIn, on social media, I would really want you guys to share this video and take it out to as many more people, as we can reach. I think TR for teachers is a great idea.
He wanted to say something.
So you wanted to say something?
You wanted us to raise up whether we feel we are because of the teacher. That's very correct.
Yeah, true.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Sunil bhai, kam se kam, I have actually grown up and, a lot of credit to you and Navneet education now, but Navneet publications as we know it. आप लोग जो गाइड्स बनाते थे, उस गाइड्स को पढ़ के एटलीस्ट मैं तो स्कूल से पास हुआ हूँ. आई थिंक यहाँ पर बहुत सारे लोग होंगे जो आप लोग के पास भी अपनी अपनी वो नवनीत गाइड्स हुआ करती थी, जिसको पढ़ के हम लोग फटाफट एग्जाम दे के पास होते थे. So you had a very, very long journey. Can you just spend a few minutes, talk to us about how Navneet started, where are you today?
Oh, I'm part of second generation in the family. My elders hailed from, we hailed from Kutch region, northern Gujarat. They came in Mumbai around 40s, early 40s, and they started with a small retail shop. I should also mention one thing, which today we can't even accept that situation being my parents, all of them, for initial 4 years of their coming to Mumbai, they literally slept on the pavements, and then they continued struggling. But post that, slowly, they set up a retail bookstore, then wholesaling. And one fine day, one of the publisher denied giving us several copies unless we give them hard cash on the table. That was the year 1959 when my father and my uncles decided, why can't we publish? Since then, we are in the publication business.
1959.
That's right.
Wow. Well, I don't want to say that I'm sitting between you and your lunch, because this is a great session as well. So slightly better applause for somebody who's been giving us guides and books and education now since 1959. सुनील भाई, आपकी ना वेबसाइट मैंने देखी, उसमें कहीं ना कहीं आपके फाउंडेशन का काम छुपा हुआ है. In fact, I told you this last time as well, it has to come out a lot more prominently. You mentioned that, your family comes from Kutch. मैंने आपके फाउंडेशन के बारे में एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग कहानी पढ़ी आपके फाउंडेशन के पेज पे, that छाछ is made at 5:30 in the morning and served to hundreds and hundreds of villagers every day, even today. सर, थोड़ा फाउंडेशन के बारे में बताइए, क्या काम आप लोग कर रहे हैं, और ये छाछ की कहानी थोड़ी और बताइए सर.
So our parents, when they came from Kutch and when we also started growing with them, they always told us that whatever that we earn, we should give back to the society, part of it, every year. So when our family was very low in terms of earning, then also we were trying to contribute back to the society. So Chash, if you all know, most of you rather would know, across the villages in the country, the staple food for them is bajre ka roti, chash, and onion, when they go to farm. We realized, at least at our native place, that for them to get milk every day to make chash was also not possible. So for last 34 years, every day, as you rightly said, around 5:30 a.m. chash is made, and around 400 families, they come and collect chash so that they don't have to worry about that, one of their staple food, and they can complete their day as far as eating is concerned.
Oh, excellent. Sir, why 5:30 in the morning? Is it because people go to the field very early in the morning and the climate in Kutch and...
That's right. So they leave for farming around 7, so they take before that.
All right. And sir, what other things do you do at the foundation?
Oh, lot many, maybe housing for needy, education. We have couple of hospitals in the city. Then we have education institute. So that way we do lot. One of the biggest activity that we did, that we housed 1,008 families in a suburban of Dombivali near Mumbai at 1/3 of the cost. Forget about the market price, but 1/3 of the cost, and rest was contributed by the family. One of the most encouraging thing that I feel I should mention here today, we are talking about future of India, very, very bright future of India. The foundation will be, one of the requirement of the strong foundation will be the education. So what we did, of course, we are in the business of education. What we did, we have started approaching various corporates and trying to bridge gap between the needy schools and the corporates. That way, we are trying to support hundreds of schools today with the support of so many corporates. We believe if many NGOs like that who can contribute something to the education, the foundation of India will become more and more stronger.
Wow. Foundation of India, ladies and gentlemen, is in education. And you're hearing it from the man who's a second generation entrepreneur in the business of education now since 1959. Sir, EdTech के बारे में कुछ बात करते हैं. Yeah, I like that smile on your face now. So EdTech, in my opinion, sir, has had multiple reactions. There are some very famous startups, and I'm not going to name any one of them right now, because we all probably, tend to point a finger at one or two of them only. But a lot is being spoken about EdTech, and there are multiple opinions on the table in terms of what impact or what contribution really technology is making in the field of education. What's your take on EdTech? Because I think that is something that you tend to talk about on your LinkedIn profile. It is probably close to your heart, and there is investment that you're making in that space.
Excellent question. I might say that I'm confused a bit to start with. The reality is that technology in education going forward is must. Question is, should that technology be given directly to the consumer, or should it be routed through the schools? We strongly believe B2C, direct to customer, is not likely to see going forward very, very attractive. As far as K to 12 is concerned, post 12th, of course, it can. So schools will have to adopt technology going forward in the classroom. And if that is so, school will have to invest, teachers will have to start adopting the technology, and thereafter the learning outcome, which is the most important, will improve going forward. So technology is here to stay. I should say blended education, physical and technical technology, both put together, will be the way forward for India, or rather for the world.
And sir, do you think that's also happening in the SSE curriculum? Because IGCSE, ICSE, big words, big terms, these schools probably have the wherewithal to invest in the infrastructure that they're building, not only just the academics, but probably the overall education as well. But what about SSE schools? I mean, I passed out of a very humble school in Goregaon West. When I go through Bangur Nagar even today, how many people from that area? Goregaon, Bangur Nagar? Areva, there are a few here. Maulik and I, by the way, we went to the same college. He studied, I did not. So सर एसएससी वहाँ पे कुछ इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है सर बिकॉज वहाँ पे आई थिंक 80% बच्चे मुझे लगता है शायद ज़्यादा ही होगा परसेंटेज ऑल ओवर इंडिया वुड स्टिल बी द एसएससी करिकुलम राइट
Again, an excellent question. I think for the information for all of you, many of you may know it, but the reality is 95% of the student population or the institution or schools, they follow SSC curriculum, and rest all curriculum, be it CBSE, ICSE, IB, IGSE, is just 5 to 6%. The situation at the ground is very different than what we read in the papers or on social media. So the technology inroads into those 5-6% has taken quite ahead, but reality in SSC is a little not as appreciable as it should be. And for this, we believe slowly, with more and more technology going rather adopted by the parent community, by the teacher community, technology also will get adopted in the schools. And here I believe not only the private players like us, I think in partnership with government, if something can further be done, then in such investment will make, give country a strong foundation, and that should help overall the country.
Thank you very much. My last question, so that you know this is my last question. I follow this guy called Naval Ravikant on Twitter. So Naval Ravikant has, you know, he's on Twitter. Abhi paisa waisa bana liya hai, so he's on Twitter pretty much most of the day, I think. So one of his famous quotes is that listening to a book as compared to physically holding a book and reading it is like drinking vegetable juice instead of eating sabji roti. So, I mean, he's still probably a little conservative on that side. Sir, किताबें रहेंगी? आप तो you are in the business of making books, physical books, but will we still have books in the future? I mean, where do you see ourselves in, let's say, 5 years, 10 years? Will we continue to have books, or like many who have a slightly bigger mobile phone in their hands? Will education move to the mobile phone? It did for a bit, for 2 years in between. I work for a company called Dvara. You know, we are in the business of financial inclusion. We have 9 group companies. We are very proud and humble enough. We've touched about 60 million lives, and I go to a lot of small villages all across the country, and it's just outstanding. The last few sessions that we heard on financial inclusion, it's just outstanding how you know, Bharat is now really responding to technology, responding to the ability to access credit. But more about that later. So back to the question, will there be books?
So during last 2 years of pandemic, I think many of us were wondering whether books are required really. But the reality is post-pandemic, schools literally are saying, students and parents literally are saying, forget about technology, we'll see that later, we want books. This is the reality. From scientific way, if I may say so, whatever reading material that we have in the form of books or physical books may get converted on a digital platform. Activities may get, but as far as writing skills are concerned, I doubt it should ever get shifted to a technology platform. The brain creativity or the development of a brain happens only when we write with hands. That's proven scientifically, and therefore I believe it will always be blended education, never ever only technology.
Well, that's a great answer. Show of hands on how many of you agree with him right now on this. When you write, wow, that's pretty much all of us in this room. Very much all of us in this room. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the person behind TR for Teachers.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. A louder round of applause for these gentlemen, please. And now I'd like to call on stage Mr. Anshul Chandak to please give the memento to these gentlemen. So one
And
second
now
for
there
the
is
picture.
lunch.
Picture. He wants a picture. And now we have a lunch break of exactly 45 minutes, and we'll be back with our next session. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you back in the next 45 minutes.